Hey guys, what's up? It's B coming to you from GNA today. So I wanted to talk about the Hearing Protection Act of 2017. So if you don't know about this, and if you're watching my channel, you probably are familiar with this, but basically here's the main gist of it, is that they want to provide that silencers be treated the same as long guns. And one thing I want to say is we probably need to be careful about the way we talk about that. They're not really silencers. They don't make a gun completely quiet. All they do is suppress the sound. And that the crack of that is still there, and it still has a very specific sound signature, as I have heard it said. So it's not like it makes it totally quiet, but it suppresses it. So to provide that silencers or sound suppressors be treated the same as long guns. And of course it's dubbed the Hearing Protection Act of 2017, which I didn't realize it until recently, but actually there was basically the exact same thing, the Hearing Protection Act of 2015, and when you read the language of the bill, it's basically exactly the same. So, and that was H.R.367, the Protection Act of 2015. The Hearing Protection Act of 2017 is just the reintroduction of that bill, and it is H.R.367. When you're over here on Congress.gov, you can look at different things that happened, and so you can see that it was introduced in October 22nd, 2015. You can go over here and look at the actions. And so it was brought to committee, it was brought to the House Ways and Means and to the House Judiciary Committee, and then it was sent about a month later to the Subcommittee on Crime, Terrorism, Homeland Security, and Investigations. And I meant to look up who was in charge of that committee, but I'm sure it was an Obama appointee, and I'm sure they had no interest in allowing any type of things like that to get through to benefit the Second Amendment. So it just died in committee there. So we're now in 2017, and of course things have drastically changed. So as I said, it's just basically a reintroduction to that exact same bill, but you can see here it was introduced January 9th, 2017. So today is January 23rd. So just a couple weeks ago that this thing was introduced, but we're definitely going to be under different circumstances at this point. So this bill was reintroduced by Jeff Duncan of South Carolina and John Carter of Texas, and there are 68 co-sponsors. I guess now there's 69. As I said, the main thing is to provide that sound suppressors be treated the same as long guns. So you're still going to have to pass a background check, but you're not going to have to go through the NFA paperwork, and you're not going to have to pay the $200 tax stamp for that. So the first thing is, it's under Section 2 here, it says equal treatment of silencers and firearms. So in general, in Section 5845A of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986, it's amended by striking 7, any silencer and all that follows through, and 8 and inserting and 7. So if you go over here to that code, this is the part of the IR Internal Revenue Code that's talking about the machine guns, destructive devices, and certain other firearms. So it's talking about NFA stuff. And if you look under A here, and so you have all these lists of firearms that fit into that. A shotgun having a barrel of less of 18 inches in length, a weapon made from a shotgun, and so on and so forth. So you get down here to number 7, and it says any silencer as defined in Section 921 of Title 18 U.S. Code and 8. So basically what this is saying is that you're striking that part 7, any silencer. So you're striking from 7, any silencer, all the way down to here, and 8, and all of that is just to be removed, and basically 8 just becomes 7. Number 2 here, transfers. In the case of the tax imposed by Section 5811 of such code, the amendment made by the section shall apply with respect to transfers after October 22nd, 2015. Now that's the exact same date that is listed over here in the Hearing Protection Act of 2015. So they didn't even change that date, which is good, because what's going to happen is when you look at the summary of, now going back to the Hearing Protection Act of 2015, they don't have this for the summary for 2017 yet. It says it's in progress, but notice what it says: any person who pays a tax on any silencer after October 22nd, 2015 may receive a refund of such tax. Now, of course, the operative word there is the word may. So may or may not, but that is a hope that if you bought a silencer after October 22nd, 2015, that you might get a refund on that. And with this language, it's the exact same thing. So I think we can assume the same thing here is if this Hearing Protection Act of 2017 passes, that it's still going to go all the way back to 2015. And if you've paid your $200 tax stamp, that you may get a refund on that. Of course, just on silencers that we're talking about here. But that's pretty good. And the reason that's good is, and of course, this bill has just gone to committee, so it's got lots of steps to make it through, and it can get changed in a bunch of different ways. So that part may be completely stricken from the record. But if that does end up staying in there and you do get a refund, the thing that's going to happen is if this bill passes and it becomes law, and I've said it myself, the day this becomes law, the day it happens, I'm buying a silencer. Well, there's going to be a lot of people who have that same attitude. They're probably going to wait the day that it happens, and they're going to buy silencers, and then all of a sudden, you're not going to be waiting 6 to 9 months to have your NFA paperwork to get through. You're going to be waiting 6 or 9 months for the manufacturers to catch up. And if this does pass, there will be a huge, huge run on silencers. So my point here is, looking at this, and again, it could change, but it probably would be good for you to go ahead and buy that silencer now. Of course, you still have to go through all the paperwork and the mess that kind of keeps people from wanting to do that anyways, but if it's the $200 that's holding you back, you may get a refund on that. So it may be better for you to buy it now so that you can get that silencer, because if this does pass, it's going to be like trying to find 22 in 2014. It's just going to be very, very difficult to get those. Okay, Section 3, it's what this is just talking about is about people who had already bought a silencer before the enactment of this subsection, just talking about that. Now, the Section 4, I like this. Section 927 of Title 18 U.S. Code is amended by adding the following at the ending. Notwithstanding the preceding sentence, a law of a state or a political subdivision of a state that, as a condition of lawfully making, transferring, using, possessing, or transporting a firearm silencer in or affecting interstate or foreign commerce, imposes a tax on any such conduct or a marking, record-keeping, or registration requirement with respect to the firearm silencer shall have no force or effect. So what they're saying here is, okay, if this thing passes, California can't pass a law to say, okay, if you bring that silencer into our state, we're gonna tax you for bringing that in, or you have to register it, or whatever. It's saying they can't do that. There will have no force or effect. So that's a very good thing, especially for some of you people who live in some of those states that would definitely want to do that. And it not only just says a state border, but a subdivision of that. So if San Francisco, the city, wants to say that, they can't do that. This will have no force or effect in that place. Now, this is early in this bill's life. It has to make it through committee first, and then it gets back, and then it's got lots of steps to go through, so it still has a long ways to go. But of course, we know, and like I said, today's January 23rd. I think Trump kind of put out a memo or whatever on his idea about the Second Amendment. Of course, he's as strong on it as he was in his campaign, and about wanting to keep everything, to keep the Second Amendment rolling and to keep our freedoms going. So he's going to appoint people who's going to keep this going. It's just crazy, the stuff that he's getting done right now. But it really will protect the hearing of people who enjoy the hobby of shooting, and not just the hobby, but all the things surrounded with the firearm stuff that goes on. So this will definitely be for the benefit of the American people and for protecting our hearing. I mean, there's like we know in a lot of European countries, of course, they have way more stringent gun laws, but when it comes to silencers, they have no problem buying those. So H.R.367, Hearing Protection Act of 2017, let it roll, baby. Let's get this thing passed. Be coming to you from GNA Today. Thanks for watching.